Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Carl from Sovereign Citizen Chronicles. Today, we're going to be in the courtroom of Judge Kenneth King out of the state of Michigan. All right, he's going to have a sovereign citizen before him that is going to be representing himself. He was accused of carrying a concealed weapon. Obviously, he's going to dispute that. Like I said, he's representing himself, and he's going to be doing it with some sovereign citizen lingo in the beginning. But it's going to be an interesting case, a bit of a seasoned case. So let's get to it.
What's your name, sir?
Raymond Terrell.
Okay, come on, Mr. Reed. I'm gonna have you stand right here in front of this seat, okay? Make sure you put your hands to the side.
Calling case 2359278. People of the state of Michigan versus Raymond Terrell Bland. Defendant is charged in count 1 with
Count 1, weapons carrying concealed. Here's for the record, please. Agent Lewis for the people, P85520.
and it looks like the defendant has not been assigned an attorney. What's your name for the record, sir?
Raymond Terrell.
It's Raymond Terrell. So it looks like you got Raymond Terrell. Terrell is your last name?
No, it's not.
What's your last name?
You asking me the name on my birth certificate? Name on my birth certificate is Raymond Terrell Bland. But it would be wrong for me to use that name. That name is copyrighted by the Queen. How could I possibly use that name?
Copyrighted by the Queen. What
Yes.
Queen? You don't have a
Queen
Queen.
of England or whoever, but it's copyrighted. It's owned by someone else. I don't own my name.
In any event, this matter is scheduled for preliminary examination. Sir, you don't have an attorney present here. The court wishes to assign you an attorney.
I'll deny it. I don't want it.
Why not?
I don't want an attorney. I don't need an attorney.
Think you're capable of representing yourself?
Yes, I am.
Are you an attorney?
No, I'm not an attorney.
How far did you go in school?
I went far enough.
How far is that?
That's 12th grade.
Graduated?
No, I did not. I can read, write, and I understand proper English. So
All right, let me make sure that you understand me. I think that you're really doing a disservice to yourself by not having an attorney. And this is for your own protection because you're not charged with the most serious of crimes, but yet it still is a 5-year felony. You understand that?
yeah, I understand.
Okay. Do you understand that an attorney will be able to do some things on your behalf, like quite possibly get you diversion, to which you would plead guilty, do a short term of probation, and then the case would be dismissed off the record.
I understand my rights and I understand the situation that's going on. So if I would represent myself, whatever happens is what happens.
You understand that if you represent yourself, I got to hold you to the same standard as if you were an attorney. I'm not cutting you any breaks because you don't know the law.
That's fine. I understand.
So it's your wish to represent yourself.
Yeah.
All right. Now, in no way mean to insult you in any kind of way. But you have heard of that old saying that anyone who represents himself has a fool for a client. There's a lot of truth to that. A lot of truth to that.
It's my right to represent myself, and I wish to represent myself.
Okay. Are the people ready to proceed?
Yes, sir.
How many witnesses?
Just one.
They call you witness.
At this time, the people call Officer Bashby.
Sit down, sir.
Your Honor, we're gonna ask for a mutual cease restoration with the exception of the officer charged. Please take care.
All right. Take care, please. All right, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land, if you are a witness or potential witness of order, you will log off at this time. Sir, please step forward, give your name and spelling to the court reporter. Yes, Your Honor.
Last name B-A-J-P-A-I.
That's all.
Please raise your right hand, sir. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Thank you, sir. Please have a seat in the witness box next to me. Voice up nice and loud and speak to that microphone. To the right.
Yes, sir.
You may begin when you're ready.
Can you please take your name and occupation for the record?
Officer Naveed Bajpai, police officer with Detroit Police Department,
And how long have you been a police officer?
approximately 5 years.
And were you working in the capacity of a police officer on October 5th, 2023?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
Okay, and were you working by yourself?
No, ma'am, I was working with 2 partners,
What's their name?
Officer Ryan Ruloff and Officer Daniel Colebrook.
And on this particular day, were you working in full or modified uniform?
I was working in a modified uniform, as you see me in court today, with
And were you on foot patrol or in a scout car?
in a scout car.
Was that scout car police marked or semi-marked?
It was semi-marked.
Okay, and when a police vehicle is semi-marked, what exactly identifies that as being a police vehicle?
It's present with decals stating Detroit Police on both sides. However, the light bar is inside the vehicle as opposed to on top.
Okay, and did your duties as a police officer take you to 1200 East 7 Mile Road?
Yes, ma'am, they did.
And is that in the city of Detroit, County of Wayne?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
And what is at that location?
That is a Bolero gas station.
Okay, and why were you at that location?
We were conducting a routine patrol in the area.
Okay, and while you were conducting routine patrol in the area, did you observe anything that caught your attention?
I did, yes.
What did you observe?
As my partner pulled the scout car eastbound through the parking lot of the Bolero gas station, I observed the defendant, Mr. Blanding, walking westbound through the parking lot of the gas station towards our oncoming scout car.
Okay, and can you please point to an identifier on the book code of the person you had identified that you observed?
That would be Mr. Blanding with the gray t-shirt.
Your Honor, may the record reflect that the witness has identified the defendant?
So, no,
And upon making this observation, did you observe anything further?
I did, yes.
What did you observe?
As Mr. Blanding was walking towards us in mentioned manner, I observed the grip of a handgun protruding from his front waistband.
Okay. And based on your observations, what, if anything, did you do?
At that time, I exited my scout car to further an investigation for possible CCW.
Okay, and what happened next?
I made contact with Mr. Blanding in the parking lot. At that time, I asked him if he could present me with a CPL.
And did he present you with the CPL?
He stated to me that he's open carrying and therefore did not need one.
Okay, and upon receiving that information, what did you do next?
I instructed Mr. Blanding to place his hands upon his head in order to safely recover the firearm, which he did.
Okay, and why did you instruct him to do so?
Mr. Blanding had previously informed me that he did not have a CPL, which would be a requirement to carry a firearm in mentioned manner.
Okay, and when you say in mentioned manner, please explain to the court what do you mean by that?
The majority of the firearm was concealed within his front waistband. The only exposed part of the firearm was the grip.
Okay, and did he comply with putting his hands up and everything?
Yes, ma'am, he did.
Okay, and did the defendant have a CPL?
No, he did not.
And did you verify that?
Yes, it was verified via lien.
Okay, and what did you do with the firearm?
I secured the firearm as well as the inside the waistband holster inside my scout car, pending processing of the prisoner.
Okay, did you place that on him?
I did, yes.
No further question.
cross-examine. You get to ask questions. Yes. Step to the podium so we can hear you. Right.
I asked you, what was the reason for stopping? What was the reason for stopping?
As I stated, I observed you concealing a firearm in your front waistband.
You observed me concealing a firearm. You can see the firearm properly from with your eye from the scout car from 30 to 40 feet away, right?
As I mentioned, I could see the grip of the firearm protruding from your waistband.
Okay,
Yes.
so how could you consider that concealed if you can see the firearm with your eyes? And that's what, the only thing that made you stop me was the vision of my firearm, right?
A portion of the firearm.
No, all you seen, but why else did you stop me? There was no other reason for you to stop me, so that would be considered a Terry stop, right?
As I mentioned, that was the reason for the investigation, the further weapons offense investigation.
But there was no, I was not committing a crime. There was nothing that you can say that I was committing a crime, or no other reason that you can say that I was doing anything wrong for you to stop. So you had, what would you say, you just had a feeling that I didn't have a CCW, so that is the reason why you stopped me.
No, sir, I had reason to investigate you and ask you to present your CBL card.
But what was the reason for stopping me? I was not committing a crime. I was walking through the stairs. You can see the gun. You don't know if I have a CPL or not. So what gives you the right to even stop me in the first place in question?
Because the majority of the firearm was concealed inside your waistband.
Once again, you don't know if I have a CPL or not, right? So why did you stop me? You don't know if I have a CPL or not. I'm not committing a crime. I'm walking down the street, so you have no right to stop me and question me in the first place. That is a violation of my Second Amendment rights.
Yeah, and I was,
Is that a question or a statement?
So,
You have to ask questions.
so you can see that I was not committing any crime. So can you tell me what was the reason for stopping me besides the sight of my firearm?
That's been asked and answered.
Okay, so there was no other reason for you to stop me. I don't have any more questions. I mean,
Okay. Can you redirect?
no redirect, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You missed it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Any other witnesses?
No further witnesses, Your Honor.
Sir, do you have any witnesses to call?
no, I don't.
Your Honor, at this time, the people will request that the case be bound over. We do believe that this question of fact for the trier of fact to be here from the witness, Officer Bashkine, he stated, upon observing the defendant with a grip of a handgun protruding from his waistband, he then went and investigated for a possible carrying a concealed weapon, upon which he asked if he had a CPL. The defendant did not present one, at that which point the officer recovered the handgun and made it safe, and also verified via me as to whether he had a license to carry, and which he did not. So, Your Honor, the people believe that this question of fact or trier of fact based on
Mr. Terrell or Mr. Landon, whichever your name is. Would you like to make an argument as to why the court shouldn't bind it over?
You say what?
Would you like to make an argument as to why the court should not bind this matter over?
Yes, I would.
Go ahead.
Because he violated my Second Amendment rights. I have a right to bear arms, and I was doing nothing wrong. I did not commit a crime. He did not have a reason to stop me in the first place. And that would be considered a Terry stop because he didn't have a reason or a right to stop me. I was not committing a crime. So why did he even stop me and approach me? I have a right to bear arms. My arm was legal. It's registered. So therefore, why was he even stopping me? That's harassment. He stopped me because he seen a black man carrying a firearm walking out of the store. There was no other reason in the world he could stop me. I don't see no other reason why he could stop me. Like, I was not committing a crime. Usually you would have to be committing a crime for someone to stop you if you're walking out the store. Well, the only thing he's seen my pistol. I have a right to carry a pistol. That is my Second Amendment right. So why is he stopping me?
All right. I get what you're saying. And that's not different than an argument that an attorney would make. You didn't do too bad, especially to not have any formal education in law or college and life. But let me explain something to you. You do have a Second Amendment right to bear arms, but as all of your rights, none of those rights are absolute. States have been made to regulate how and when you can carry a weapon. In the state of Michigan, although you can open carry, you cannot carry a concealed weapon.
It was not concealed.
Sir, hold on, let me talk. You cannot carry a concealed weapon on your person without a license to do so. Sir, please do not interrupt. Let me talk. I'll give you another opportunity, okay? All right. So the officer testified that the weapon was concealed on your person. It wasn't totally concealed in that he could see the hand grip of the weapon. It does not have to be totally concealed in order to be concealed in the state of Michigan. A portion of it, he said that the only part that was visible was the grip of the handgun. That would be considered concealed, or at least a question of fact as to whether or not you were open carrying or carrying a concealed weapon.
The only thing that I can say that would be the problem is I had the Empire holster. I wasn't aware of the holster.
Your holster isn't even an issue.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with you having a holster. I don't have a problem with you carrying a gun if you're open carrying.
Yeah, it was open carrying. But the reason he seen the gun, Your Honor, is that's the only reason he seen it. When I walked out of the gas station, he can see it with full view. How can you consider that concealed? That's just out for him to see.
Because a portion of the weapon was concealed. You can see that the portion of it was concealed. You had an inner holster, right?
Yes.
So with the inner holster, because I carry one myself, with the inner holster.
Like a quarter of the gun is concealed and the rest of it is hanging out.
Well, I don't know what kind of gun it is, but a quarter of a gun or half the gun. He said that most of the gun was concealed.
Majority of the gun was out there. If you can see the video from it, you can see the gun and you can see how much of the gun was hanging out from the video.
All right. So you'll be free to argue that even if this gets to trial, that the gun was not concealed. But based on his testimony, his sworn testimony, he said that the majority of the gun was concealed. The only thing that you could see was the handle of the gun, and that's what he observed. Now, possessing the gun on your person gave him reasonable suspicion that you might be carrying the gun without a license. And that's what he acted on. He went in to further investigate whether or not you had a CPL.
That was like a hunch though. That's like he couldn't say for sure.
That's what reasonable suspicion is.
A hunch, and that gives you the reason to stop me. If you don't know how criminal occurred, for sure he shouldn't be able to stop me. He has a hunch, maybe.
Hold on. Reasonable suspicion. You mentioned the case Terry versus Ohio. You might want to go read. Reasonable suspicion means that you have reason to believe that criminal activity might be afoot, and that you can articulate on the record what that reasonable suspicion is. He saw you with a gun that was somewhat exposed on your person. Based on that, he could come and ask you questions to see if you were carrying that gun legally or not. Based on his testimony, he did so and you were not. So that's where you stand. All right. So the court, after hearing the testimony of the officer, is satisfied that people have met their burden of probable cause as it relates to the charges contained in the complaint warrant. The court finds those charges were committed in the city of Detroit. The court finds probable cause to believe this defendant committed. The defendant will be bound over to Wayne County Third Circuit Court Criminal Division for further proceedings. His arraignment on the information, date, and time will be February 15th, 2024 at 9:00 a.m. Bond will be continued.
All right, y'all. So that's the end of that proceeding. Yeah, so Judge King, he actually gave my man props for doing a decent job at representing himself. Basically, in my opinion, and it seems like the judge, some of the questions that he would ask are the same questions that his lawyer would have asked. All right. That whole thing about his name being copyrighted by the Queen, I didn't understand that. That's my first time hearing anything even remotely close to that with since I've been covering sovereign citizen stuff. But anyway, like I said, it was an interesting case. It's I'm not sure if it's ongoing, but if it is, I would definitely find more to this proceeding. All right, or more to this case. All right, with that being said, I just want to thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you get notified when I upload more videos like this. This is Carl from Sovereign Citizen Chronicles. I catch you on the next video. God bless. Peace.